Hello there, it's Elliot, and to no one's surprise, I'm here to talk about some Blu-rays. During the month of July 2020, Arrow have been running this month-long sale on their own website and through some other retailers, basically giving deep discounts on a lot of their products. I recently did a video talking about some Arrow video specific recommendations that I would give to you, and a lot of you seem to, enjoy those recommendations. This video is not recommendations though, this is actually showing you what I've picked up during this sale. And it's a bit of a mixed bag because I've picked things across Arrow Video, Arrow Academy and Second Run. In an effort to keep this video short and sweet, I'm just going to get straight to the package that I've got here, as you can tell by the Arrow branded tape across it. I was actually very surprised by how quickly this came through. Honestly, I think it was about 2 days it took between ordering and actually arriving at my house. So that's a lot faster than Arrow have been in the past. And I think I've heard from some friends that have ordered from the US from Arrow, and it's taken them about a week to get from the UK to the US, which is like record time if you're importing from Arrow. So let's just get into the package. I've already unsealed it and I've got 8 titles to talk about today in this video. So let's get into it. So first up is an Arrow video title, and this is actually the only Arrow video I picked up during the sale. It's Cop vs. Thugs, and this is a film from Kinji Fukasaku. I did recently mention Kinji Fukasaku in my Arrow video recommendations video, and that's because I was highlighting the film Street Mobster, which is from Fukasaku. And I've been on a bit of a Japanese Yakuza binge lately, so I wanted to pick this one, and there was another one from Fukasaku which isn't in the sale. That's Doberman Cop. For some reason that's still full price, and that came out a few years ago. So I'm not too sure why that's not in the sale. I do want to pick that up, but I'm not going to pay £18 for it just yet. But £7.50, Cops vs. Thugs. I've never seen this film, but if it's like the other Fukasaku films that I've seen before, I'm sure I'm going to be in for a treat. I'm expecting lots of violence, lots of gangster mobbery, just the signature stuff that you'll find in a Fukasaku film. If you've seen Cops vs. Thugs, please do let me know what you thought of it, and if you're a fellow fan of Fukasaku's films. So that's the first one that I picked up during the sale. So as Cops vs. Thugs was the only Arrow video release I picked up, I'm going to move on to Academy. And the first Academy release I got is The Far Country. This is a Western from Anthony Mann. Again, never seen The Far Country, but I'm a huge fan of Anthony Mann's Westerns. In particular, Man of the West is my all-time favourite Mann film. So if this is anything like Man of the West, I'm very excited to dig into this. And the cast as well. I mean, James Stewart leading the bill. I love James Stewart, and James Stewart in Westerns I'm actually a big fan of. I recently watched The Man from Laramie, which is just a great classic Western with Jimmy Stewart in the lead. When Arrow released this, I know it did come with a slipcover, so I'm a bit upset that it doesn't actually have the slipcover on it. But I'll live. It just would have been a nice thing to have. I thought maybe during this sale the slipcovers would still be on it, because I didn't imagine this would be a big seller at all. But obviously if they're out of slipcovers, then it probably did sell pretty well, which I'm very happy about, because if we can get more Anthony Mann Westerns on Blu-ray here in the UK, that would just be a treat. Like Winchester 73 is one that's been missing for ages, and I would love to have a Blu-ray of that from Arrow, or from anyone, but Arrow would do a good job, I'm sure. So that's The Far Country, and on the special features, it's actually a 2-disc version. I should mention that because it's got 2 alternate versions of the film in different aspect ratios. So I'm excited to actually dig into both different versions of the film. And then in terms of special features, there's an audio commentary from Adrian Martin. I always love Adrian's commentaries. And yeah, there's a documentary film and some other appreciation stuff about the film. So, The Far Country. Again, very excited to dig into this one. And if you've seen it, please let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you're enjoying this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more videos about Blu-rays and Arrow and Criterion and all of that good stuff, because we have a great community here, lots of people giving such good in-depth comments on all of these videos. So it would be great to have you as a part of this community. Anyway, let's get back to what I got during the Arrow sale. Another Academy title that I've just picked up is The Major and Minor. This is from Billy Wilder, who is one of my all-time favourite directors, but this is a film I've not seen from him. It's one that I don't think gets talked about as much as his big hitters like Sunset Boulevard, Double Indemnity, you know, Some Like It Hot. You could just go on and on, The Apartment. But this is probably, funnily enough, probably one of his minor works, pun intended. It has me very intrigued though. I love this cast of Ginger Rogers and Ray Milland. Ray Milland was in Lost Weekend from Billy Wilder, which is an amazing film. Ginger Rogers as well. I've recently watched a few films from her. I watched Magnificent Doll, which is an Arrow Academy release as well, which she stars in. So I'm all up for some more Ginger Rogers action. I honestly don't know much about this film or what it's about, so I'm going to be going in blind. And special features wise, looks like a great disc from Arrow again. You've got audio commentary from Adrian Martin, who had one on The Far Country, and new filmed video appreciation from Neil Sinyard, an interview with Ray Milland, and a rare hour-long radio adaptation from 1943 starring Rogers and Milland. So, very excited to get into this, a film I've not seen from one of my favourite directors. It's a rarity because when I find a director that I do truly love, I go a bit crazy and I want to watch as much from them as possible. But this has evaded me, so very excited to get into this. The third Arrow Academy title I got during this sale is Model Shop from Jacques Demy. I've wanted to see this film for so long and I've not had a chance to up until now. I'm a huge fan of Jacques Demy and I've recently been watching a lot of his films again from my Criterion Collection box set, which is absolutely superb. But anyway, Model Shop. I'm very intrigued about this one because I know that it's set in Los Angeles. So this was Demy's first film outside of France, I believe. And if it's got the magic of his other films, I'm sure this is going to capture me. I recently watched Lola, and Lola, is such a good Demy film. And of course, Umbrellas of Cherbourg and the rest. Demy has a knack for musicals and magic and wonder and romance and love, and it's just superb filmmaking on every level. So I can't wait to check out Model Shop. And in terms of special features, it's pretty good as well. It's got a commentary and a new video appreciation of the film. So I can't wait to get into this disc, guys. Like, my watch list at the moment is so big. Luckily, during lockdown, I've been managing to get through a lot of films. So hopefully I'll get through this in the next few days. So that's Model Shop. The last of the Arrow Academy titles I bought before we move on to second run is The Limits of Control. This is from Jim Jarmusch, and I'm a big fan of Jarmusch, I really am. But The Limits of Control is one that I have never, ever seen. I do not know much about this film, in all honesty, so I can't tell you what it's about. But I know Tilda Swinton stars in this one. I'm a huge fan of Tilda, especially Tilda working with Jim Jarmusch. Special features on this one, you've got an interview, you've got a video essay on the film, and you've got an archival documentary on the making of the film called Behind Jim Jarmusch. So that is very exciting. Again, can't wait to get into this one. If you like this film, if you know this film, please do let me know in the comments below. So on to the second run titles, and I've picked up 3 films from second run, and this actually rounds out my second run collection. I have every release up to date now with these 3 films. So I'm very excited and very happy for that because I have loved everything that I've watched from second run so far. It's an absolutely amazing label. So if you can support second run, if you're interested in any of the world cinema films that they provide, I would implore you to support them and pick up some of their films. Anyway, let's just get into the first one. It is Electra, My Love. This is a film from Miklos Jankso, and I apologise for any of the pronunciation of these directors' names, especially with second run titles. I'm very bad with the directors' names because They're all names from Eastern Europe, typically Czechoslovakia, and I'm not very good at, pronouncing them in the correct dialect. So my knowledge of Janczor as a filmmaker is quite limited. I only know Silence and Cry, which is another film released from second run, and that is great. And I'm excited to delve a bit deeper into this filmmaker's filmography. All I know about this film is that it's from the 1970s. It explores a lot of ideas that were previously prohibited in Hungary. That, the government wouldn't allow certain things to be shown in film, or it was very taboo. And I know that it's done in 12 long takes, so it'll be interesting to see how that is pulled off and whether it actually works. And in terms of special features, it seems kind of light. There's a featurette on the disc and there's a 16-page booklet. I typically don't mind with second run Blu-rays if the special features are a bit light on the ground, because for me, it's the film that I come to for these particular releases. All of that aside, very excited to get into this one, and do let me know if you've been picking up any second run titles during this sale. The next second run title I picked up is Curling. This is a film from Canadian filmmaker Denis Cotte. This is one that I, again, don't know much about, but I'm thankful to Second Run for actually highlighting this film to me. Again, the reason I blind buy second run releases is because the track record I've had with all of the films I've watched from them is, full marks. This film is actually quite a recent one. It's from 2010, which is a lot more recent than some of the previous second run releases. Honestly, I don't know much about this, so I'm very excited to get into this. And special features wise, there's a short film from the filmmaker, there's an interview with him, and there's a 24-page booklet. So, a great release. I'm very happy to have this. Last but certainly not least is another second run title. It is Journey to the Beginning of Time from Karel Zeman. I'm very excited to get into this because particularly Invention for Destruction is probably one of the best films I've seen in the last few years. Like, I've been really taken by that and I've loved it every time I've watched it. Of course, I know a lot of you have probably picked up the Karel Zeman box set that was released by Criterion, which this film is featured in that set. So if you've seen this film, please do let me know what you think of it. In terms of special features, it seems pretty good. There's an English dubbed version. There's a new appreciation by filmmaker and animator John Stevenson, who is the director of Kung Fu Panda. That's quite the connection. The Making of the Journey to the Beginning of Time and Restoring the World of Fantasy featurette, and a 20-page booklet. So this seems like a fantastic release. I'm sure I will eventually pick up the Karel Zeman box set from Criterion because, I would like to double dip on my favourite filmmakers, and Karel Zeman is fast becoming certainly one of my favourite filmmakers. So, Journey to the Beginning of Time, highly, highly excited to get into this. And with that, we're going to call it a day. These are the 8 titles that I got during this sale. I would love to know what you have picked up during this sale, and if you picked up any of these films in particular, I would love to hear what you think about these films. So please do leave a comment and just let me know. Let's get this conversation going. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to stick around on the channel, of course, make sure you're subscribed and then click whatever video is going to appear on the screen soon, because I'm sure you'll find many other recommendations from me on this channel. With that said, I will bid you adieu and I will see you in the next video. So stay well and keep watching great films.